Hello everyone, we are D&D Breakfast Club. We wanted to invite you to our table today to talk about everything related to D&D 5th edition. Today we're going to be discussing the top 5 first level spells and what those spells mean to us, and we'll get down into the nitty-gritty and the details of what those spells can do for you and for your game. To start us out, why don't we hear about Matt's favorite top 5 first level spell?
Thanks for putting me on the spot.
I know. I had to put you on the spot. You're the
new player.
New guy, huh? You've been playing for a year.
Right, so not even a year. Well, almost a year. Right?
You're not new anymore, bro.
And because I've only been playing for a year as a ranger who has literally no spells to begin with, but a few, I'm going to have to go with Hunter's Mark. It's treated me pretty good, and there's some creative ways you can use it as well. So Hunter's Mark, it's a bonus action, and when you cast it on someone, when you attack, you get an extra D6 for damage. Also, you have advantage on wisdom and survival checks to find that creature. One of my favorite ways I've used it is I've actually cast it on my party members, right, to help find them if they got lost, and it's treated me pretty good. So yeah, Hunter's Mark. It's a must for Rangers or Vengeance Paladins.
A couple times I remember you used it. One was on an enemy that you knew could turn invisible. Did it right before they left.
And follow them, yeah.
You know, once you did it on your ally when you knew they were going to be splitting up from you. He was running away from
the undead horde,
the city that he knew he screwed up, and they were coming after him, and you didn't have to leave, but he did, and you were like, I'll find you later. It's a pretty solid use of it. So it has more than just the use of hitting enemies.
Absolutely.
I chose for my favorite first level spell, Goodberry, which is one action, and you can instantaneously create up to 10 berries in your hand, and they each restore 1 hit point of health.
Is it really 10?
Yep.
I thought it was 3.
Oh,
that
10 of
changed from 3.5? Wow.
Yeah. So in theory, with 10, you can do more. If you were to take the time to eat all of them yourself, you could do more healing than you can with a healing word, which is also first level. And they have the added benefit of you being able to hand them out to other people. They can each spend their action to eat them. And the other added benefit is that they are good for 24 hours and give you an entire day's worth of sustenance.
That was my next question. Isn't it a full day's of food?
I think it's food and water.
Yep. So it's great in the sense that it eliminates the possibility of you being mighty adventurers who can't even feed yourselves. And so if you are doing some sort of survival game, that's maybe something you want to talk to your DM about, because it can really eliminate an entire style of game, just this one first level spell. With it, there is the possibility some very generous DMs may let you administer a good berry to a fallen comrade as someone who can make use of it to restore 1 hit point. I personally think that's a bit too generous, as the text clearly says eating a creature can use its action to eat 1 berry. But I mean, if someone's down, talk about it beforehand. But my favorite part is how you can easily reflavor it to fit a person too. If you have a very angelic good being, or someone, I mean, you could create a dish full of fancy glowing Turkish delight and hand out your candy to everyone.
Don't eat the Turkish delight.
Or if you want to play a goblin, you could, vomit 10 half-digested dead frogs and then hand those out. Whatever it is that you need thematically, you have, the shell of something that's very useful, and it can really change a lot depending on what you want to do with it.
I was wondering, will that make you fat if you ate all 10 in a day? Every day?
I don't think so.
Nope. Pure health
magic,
food.
Man.
Are you sure?
It's magic.
It's a superfood.
Getting
It's
fat
like
on
kale.
magic would be fun, but
Kale.
just like kale.
I'll start off by saying there's a lot of spells out there that are very useful in certain circumstances. The one I picked was Find Familiar. Mostly because, again, most spells, it's up to the DM discretion, but some people will let your familiar use a help action, which could give you advantage on a lot of things. It's a perception tool where you don't have to go into danger. You could send your familiar out there. Again,
It will die. Just saying.
good possibility. That's another thing about the DM. You could instantly, it's like, oh, I see a thing, kill it. So, I mean,
I only killed yours once. I killed his like 10
You
times.
killed mine every time. When I think every time it died. No, whatever.
and like for our DM, he doesn't do any spell costs below a certain amount. So, I mean, the fact that it costs 10 gold to use it might not be much of a deal if you have a DM that's being generous in that aspect.
Is it really 10 gold to cast?
Yep,
Yeah.
which it consumes.
I do, what do I do? Under 100 gold, I don't really care. Anything 100 gold or more, I make you pay.
So yeah, depending on how kind your DM is to your ability to do all these things with just the first level spell, which lasts until it dies, essentially, it's a pretty good spell that can cover a lot of things.
I mean, it's a really complicated spell.
Yes, it is very
And you have
complicated.
all sorts of buddy cop role playing opportunities.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's fun.
Good cop, bad cop.
And you can make your DM crazy by
Yep.
just talking to your
Yeah.
familiar all
Yeah.
day.
And you can make your familiar talk to other NPCs, so the DM has to have two conversations, both sides of it at once.
One trick I know some DMs use is they let the player control the familiar and its role playing. So if you want to get around that and you're the DM and your player is trying to pull that on you, just have them talk to themselves.
And then if you do that, then you have all the power. So it's all about the judo.
All of these are really good spells, right? Like,
Are you going to do the thing where you read them all again?
nope. Not this time, anyways. Although I do think we should have one of these conversations. That's what's your favorite familiar, because that could be kind of fun. There's a lot of different really fun familiar shapes. My favorite spell is Dissonant Whispers. Like, I love that you whisper a discordant melody that only one creature of your choice within range can hear, and it racks them with terrible pain and basically makes them a little nuts. They make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, they take 3d6 psychic damage and must immediately use its reaction, if available, to move as far away as its speed allows away from you. One of the cool things about it is it's not actually forced movement. So if you whisper to somebody and you're like whisper sweet weirdlings into their ear and it takes effect, when they run off, everybody who's in their face gets an opportunity attack against them, which is kind of fun.
And pretty powerful at low levels, I'd say.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, they don't have to move into obviously dangerous ground like a fire or a pit or something. So on a successful save, they take half as much damage. They still take some damage, and they don't have to move away. It just doesn't work on creatures that are deaf, right? But I don't think I've ever run across a deaf creature.
I think there's some, so creatures that only use tremor sense.
Yeah, there might be some, but I've
I
never
bet
run
that
into one.
this purple worm is deaf.
Let's not talk about the purple worm. It's weird.
What's wrong with a purple worm?
Oh, God. So many things.
Anyways,
come on.
I really like Dissonant Whispers, especially because the one time that I got it, I was playing a warlock, the Great Old Ones warlock, and so it just like automatically scaled as I got better in level because the warlock spell slots scale up. So it was always doing like, a fair amount of damage whenever I used it. Although I don't think I used it as often as I should have, but that's my favorite first level spell. That's always what I imagine when I cast it.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
I picked, for my first level spell, one that I think is one of the best spells. Not only that, it's a great support spell. There are a few to pick from, but I picked Bless. It's not a healing spell, so you're not going to gain health for your party members, but it's one of the best support spells because it hits up to 3 allies that can include yourself, and it lasts for a full minute. What bless does is you bless up to 3 creatures of your choice. Whenever they make an attack roll or a saving throw before this spell ends, they can roll a d4 and add the number. And that's not just on one attack roll. That's for the next minute. All their attack rolls gain a d4 or any saves they need to make, including, like, say they're down and dying. On death saves, it counts for that.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's really good, especially because death saves are what, like, you roll 10 and higher, I think it is.
Yeah. So you have like a 55% chance to not suck every time you roll it, right?
Yeah. And when
With
you
an
have
extra
the best
D4.
2 out of 3, it's pretty good odds that you're not going to die. Not with my odds, but with normal odds, it's good chance you won't die. With my luck, I'd roll 1s, so it doesn't matter.
That's what I rolled on my last one when I died. I rolled a 1.
That's true. Your last death save was a 1.
They're like, why don't you roll over here? I'm like, okay. Fuck. And that was it. 1.
It's also a scaling spell. I have a great love for scaling spells. Most of them do scale somewhat. At higher levels, I can make it all 4 of the party members. Or if you have NPC allies with you, you can make it for up to 5 people. Or maybe you're playing like football and you need to hit 9 people on your team. Is it 9?
It's 11.
We'll talk about it later.
11 people on your side.
Right.
What level would you have to
Machine.
cast Bless on to get 11 people?
I guess you
I
can't
don't think you
do
can.
it.
9th is 10.
You'd have to have 2 clerics. So
Or
oh, no, wait a minute. First level is 3.
twin spell?
Mhm.
No, can't do twin spell.
Is
9th
it-
level.
9th
Because
level?
it starts at 3 people.
Yeah, so you get 12 on 9th.
Do the quick math.
Yeah.
Yep, quick math it out. Okay.
We definitely planned this out.
So let's take a look.
Well,
I bet you
cast it at
it's
first level,
11
everyone
people
after
at
that.
9th.
It would be
Okay,
8
so
more
it's-
levels.
First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7th, 8th, 9th. 9th is 11.
Anyone have some bonus spells they want to talk about?
Shield. Shield is super great. Loving shield.
Why do you love shield?
Because when the bad guy is going to beat the shit out of you, instead he misses. I mean, that's great. The reason that I like shield, and spells like bless and stuff like that, is because there's this school of thought that, like, healing is when you roll dice and give someone hit points. But I think that, like, keeping people from receiving damage or allowing them to kill the monster faster and keeping them from taking more damage is a kind of healing. And I think that control or buffing AC or buffing them to hit so you can kill the monster faster is maybe more effective than rolling dice to heal a person if you do it well.
Penny saved is a penny earned.
Yeah. So that's why I like shield, because instead of trying to heal 40 hit points of damage from myself, I can just not get hit unless they crit me. They crit
Also,
me a
if
lot.
you're in a situation where you can take a short rest afterwards, the fighter can heal themselves.
Thank you guys for coming to talk about first level spells. If you guys have any suggestions for your favorite first level spell or what you think is the best, put it down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and like and hit that notification bell because everyone asks for that.
Right, I don't
It's a
know.
thing.
Sure.
You're supposed to do that, I guess.
Do that, I guess.
Yeah, the bell.